Hello, everyone, and welcome tonight to the Healer's Journey webinar. This is webinar number 28, I believe. I lose count sometimes, and it's called Karma Basics. How interesting, first of all, to say that there are basics of karma. I'm not sure that there are, but this is the title that came to me in regards to beginning a conversation about karma. What is karma, and what do we do with it, and how do we live with it? So let's get started. I'm Rosemary Levesque. I'm author of Heal Together, Natural Health Solutions for Animals and Their Humans. If you don't have that book, you can find it on Amazon and pick one up. It is not about karma, but it is about healing, and we are on the healer's journey, so I thought I'd mention it. I'm also Reiki Master, Shaman, as my daughter would say, Reiki Master, Shaman Extraordinaire. I love the way she puts things. Aren't we all extraordinary? So I would like to invite you to say, when you introduce yourself, add extraordinaire to that and see how that feels. You might be erasing some karma if you did that. Who knows? Okay, so who are we, and why are we here? Well, you might say we are here to experience life, to learn, to grow, and to provide experiences for others. It doesn't really answer the question of who are we. We'll get more into that a little bit later. And I bet you can add some things to this list as to why are we here. But I have to say, this is probably one of the biggest questions I get from my clients is they want to know their purpose in life. They want to know, why are we here? And there are some people I know personally who have a hard time being here in physical form on this planet. It's very stressful for some people. So it does beg the question, why are we here? What determines our life experiences? Because that's something we do while we're here. We have experiences. Now, what determines them? Does our family determine them? What about our friends? Do our friends determine our life experiences? How about money? I hear this one a lot. I live within my means, or that's too expensive, or I don't have enough. This one is a very big one for today's society, living in the United States especially. Our life experience of having not enough is a very big deal. Relationships? How are your relationships? What determines your relationships? Is fate involved at all? If you read Greek mythology, you might find that fate has a lot to do with it, but more on that to come. Why do I, now you might relate to some of these questions, why do I feel like I fall into the same patterns, mistakes, and relationships? So be thinking about how this may relate to you. Why do I feel like I fall into the same relationships, patterns, and mistakes? Why do I feel like I'm stuck? Why do I have strong aversions to some situations, people, or places? Why do I hurt? And this hurt piece can be hurt emotionally, hurt physically, hurt spiritually. Why do I hurt? Now these are questions that may go a little deeper than the surface. You might find, okay, you don't really fall into a pattern or fall into mistakes. You might create them. You might deliberately create them, and they might be part of who you are. If you are doing these things, why do you feel like you're stuck? Well, maybe feeling stuck is comfortable for you. Maybe that's a pattern that serves you at this time, or not. Why do you have a strong aversion to a situation, a person, or a place? Well, animals are really good at aversions. If people have a bad vibe or if a situation doesn't feel safe, you see the fur go up on their backs and you hear the growl in their voice. And so maybe having a strong aversion is serving you. It might be a defense mechanism. It might be something that is helping you stay safe or not. How do I, and I heard someone on the call before we started asking this, how do I break free of old patterns? How do I clear away feelings of fear and doubt? How do I manifest my heart's desire, and how do I feel good? Is anybody relating to this? Are you feeling like you'd like to break free of something? Maybe you've discovered that there is a pattern that you would like to break free of. Maybe you've discovered that there is a feeling of fear and doubt and you'd like to not be in fear and doubt anymore. Congratulations. If you have become aware of some things that you would like to break free of or clear away or to manifest. I'll just mention this. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on a previous webinar or not. I became very aware of patterns when I went back to the East Coast and to spend a few days with my brother. We drove around the town where we both grew up, and we drove by the house where we both grew up. And there was dilapidation. There was the garage with the garage door just kind of falling off. I said, oh, it looks 100 years old. And you know what? It is 100 years old, but it's still there. That garage is still 100 years old, and it's still there, and it's falling apart. It has fallen into disrepair. There were things about what I could see on the outside that had fallen into disrepair. In bumping into one of the neighbors who happened to be the granddaughter of somebody I remembered who's now in her 90s. We chatted for a few minutes, and she said, yeah, isn't it too bad, right? And it struck me that this was actually a pattern for the people who were living there. You see, I know them. And I know them because they were friends of the family, and they bought the house that I grew up in. After my mother passed away, after I moved away, they bought the house. And I remembered where they came from. They came from a very low-income, low-level apartment building. They were told, oh, you'll never have your own house. And we helped make it possible. We did some things that helped them to afford it and to move in. And they did a lot of remodeling and renovation. You know, they really loved it. But there was something about this old pattern that really struck me as to where did they come from and now what does it look like. They came from poor. They came from falling apart. They came from a place where it was not possible to keep things up, or it wasn't theirs. And I'm seeing it again on the outside. Now, I didn't talk to them, so I can't judge in any way, but it just hit me is, could it be a pattern that is emerging for those people? Had they imprinted themselves with a pattern that they weren't even aware of, and now they are living in that pattern of it repeating itself? So I'm just asking you to be aware of what is around you. And are you living in an old pattern? Are you living in a situation where you are comfortable with the things that are around you and they're repeating themselves as patterns or as fear and doubt? We have free will. We have the ability to make choices. We have gifts, talents, skills. We have inspirations and ideas. This is amazing that we have this free will. And yet, what do we do with it, right? We have support. We can always ask for help. We can pray. We receive guidance. There are people, friends around, who can offer their insight. We can certainly change our minds. And we often have new opportunities. New opportunities present themselves all the time. So we do have support. We do have help and guidance. And yet, we still experience lack. We still experience health challenges and low energy or low vibrations. We still experience tough times. We still experience and perhaps even live in pain, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual. So what's up with that? Do we choose these? Do we choose lack? Remember I said we have free will. We can choose, right? Do we choose health challenges? What about low energy and vibrations? Do we choose that? Do we choose tough times? Pain? Well, maybe we do. Why? If we choose those things, now I can hear it. You're thinking, what do you mean I choose health challenges? What do you mean I choose lack? Well, this is a free will planet, right? Everything is a choice. Now, I'm going to let you sit with that for just a minute. Everything is a choice. And I'm going to ask you to reach back into some of our other webinars. We talked about being a victim at one point, right? There's such a thing as victim energy. Victim energy exists because we choose it. We choose to be the victim. We choose to have lack. We choose to have ill health. We choose those things because that is victim energy. And you can choose to have health. You can choose to have money. You can choose to have easier times and wellness and prosperity. You can choose those things. And yet, time after time, we are choosing victim. We are choosing lack. We are choosing pain and all of those lower vibrations. We are choosing depression. Things don't happen to you. You choose them. That's a pretty strong statement. And it may send people into therapy for years. I'm not sure. But let's talk a little bit more about it. Remember, this is Karma Basics. I'm not out here to heal the world on one webinar. But let's talk about why. Why do we do that? There's fear. There's doubt. There's karma. And there are soul contracts. Now let's talk a little bit about each one of these. There's fear. Fear because we don't know. That's the biggest cause of fear. Usually we just illuminate something. We get a little more piece of information. We become enlightened in some way, and it dissolves the fear. But there are many people who choose fear. They live in fear because they're uninformed, because that's their comfort zone, perhaps. That's where their pattern is. We choose doubt. Doubt because we are not aware that there is some other way. Maybe people are skeptical about something. Oh, no, that's not possible. I really doubt that that can happen, right? We can't cure that, this horrible disease. Oh, no, we can't cure that. Or can't fix my bank account. I really doubt that I can get that job. I really doubt. All right, so we're choosing doubt. Karma. Karma is something that some people call destiny or fate. And we've chosen that. To some degree, we've chosen it. And it can be related very closely to soul contracts. So let's talk about soul contracts just for a moment. In various beliefs, people believe that we develop a plan for our life on earth, that we have agreements with souls that we are close to provide opportunities to learn particular lessons. And so a soul contract might even be that you get to be the bad guy, or might even be that you get to, notice I'm saying you get to play a role in somebody else's life that will help them grow in some way. And at the same time, you may be growing as well from that experience. Now, how does this relate to karma? Karma is one of those patterns that, let's just say, for example, life is just so hard for this one particular person. Life is so hard. They have a real hard time being in their physical form. They have not yet learned what their joy is. They have not yet learned how to be in the world. They can't deal with it. And so they end their life in some way, through some method, depression, physical harm, whatever it is. Their spirit dies, and then their physical body dies, and then they're back at square one, saying, "Huh? What happened?" And then they're born again, and they repeat it again. So I am talking about reincarnation here. Again, I'm not professing any beliefs, but we're just talking about possibilities here. And karma is one of those energies. Everything is energy, right? So karma is an energy that carries with it patterns, carries with it stigmas and beliefs, carries with it all of the things that we empower it with. We actually feed karma. We feed pain. We feed our soul to the point of, if we can't manage it ourselves, okay, it goes on autopilot for us. And that's sort of an ego expression of our soul, because it can, so it will. Again, I'm getting into it kind of deep. It's not so basic anymore, but let's talk about what is karma. Is it destiny? Is it life lessons? Is it a reward and punishment system? I had a client recently who expressed that many years ago she underwent a procedure that ended a life. And she has forgiven herself, she has forgiven everybody involved, and yet it showed up in her session. She didn't have to tell me anything. I knew it was there. And why is it showing up? Why is the signature of it there? Why is the karma of it still there? She says, oh no, I know I'm going to have to deal with it in another life, right? She's already signed up for it. She signed up for it. So, okay, I guess if you sign up for it, you get to do it over again. You get to have other choices. You get to have other experiences. But what if she were to say, you know what? I really don't want to have to go through that again. I just don't want to have to deal with that. And I'd really like to heal it now. Can she heal it now? Yeah, she can. I'll answer it for you. Yes, she can heal it now. She can take this life lesson and turn it around. She can release the things that are holding on, that have written in stone a signature that is showing up in her energy body. I gave her some tools that she could use to begin to clear that. We used some tuning forks to help change the vibration of it. There's so much she can do, and we'll see if she wants to continue or wants to do any of that. It is possible to heal this. It is possible. So are we destined to repeat our mistakes, circumstances, and beliefs? For that person, that client of mine, was she destined to repeat her experience? As she said, perhaps a mistake. Well, yes, if she says so, absolutely. Are we destined to repeat beliefs that we have? Sure. If the beliefs are strong enough and they have a signature in us, if they have a seed in us, signatures, seeds, these are metaphors, of course, for the idea that we can plant an idea and it will grow. You plant a pea seed, you know it's going to grow into a pea plant, right? If you plant a seed of discontent, if you plant a seed of regret, if you plant a seed of mistake, you're going to grow that. So is it possible for you to not repeat that, for not planting that seed? Is it possible? Sure it is. There is such a thing as unconscious living and conscious living. The unconscious living is kind of going about your day, just doing things the way you've always done them. You answer your phone the same way. You go about your work the same way. You have your relationships the same. Okay, maybe you get married and divorced and married and divorced and married and divorced. Now that's an extreme example, right? But there are people who do that. Or maybe you get a job and quit, get a job and quit, get a job and quit. Or something like that. You get the idea. You repeat your mistakes many times in the same lifetime, and you might not even realize that you are doing it as a result of a seed that you planted, of a truth that exists. So that's unconscious living. Conscious living requires your awareness, requires you to do two things. One, to consciously become aware of something recognizing patterns, recognizing there's a signature, recognizing there's a seed. When people recognize that seed or that signature, it can feel like a ton of bricks just hit them. It can feel very opening. It can feel very like a kick in the butt. It can feel like a huge shift in energy, an aha moment perhaps, or not just a moment, but an aha, oh my God, I need to change my life. It can also happen when you go into your meditative state and talk to your higher self and talk to your guides. Now, I put this under conscious living, even though you're meditating, because you are having a clear channel to your higher self. And to me, that's your conscious. The unconscious part is the habits, the ego, the stuff you do that are on automatic pilot, that are part of your karma. The conscious living are the choices and the clear communication you have with your soul and with your higher self and with the divine. That to me is conscious. So what we're told, what we believe, and what we experience can perpetuate karma, and it can erase, transform, or heal karma. So what we're told, what we believe, and what we experience can either make karma bigger, stronger, repetitive, perpetuating, or what we believe, what we're told, and what we experience can erase, transform, or heal karma. You just get to choose. Remember, free will. So what happens when you perpetuate karma? You repeat opportunities to learn, grow, and heal. You see, karma isn't necessarily a bad thing. Karma is just creating opportunities for us. Someone once asked me, why is it so important to heal? Because she knows I'm a, healer, a Reiki master, and so forth. She says, why is it so important to heal? I said, it isn't. What's important is you get the opportunity to heal, to participate in that, to make choices. So if you have karma perpetuating in your life, look at this as an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, and to heal. Now, what happens when you erase, transform, or heal karma? Now, this is the really cool part. You get to transcend. You get to grow spiritually. You get to become illuminated, actually shiny. And you get to see, experience, and know truth. What is the I am? Who is the I am? All that is? Truth. We talked about that on the last webinar. That's truth. That is all that we are. We are truth. And yet we muddy the waters. We make choices of repeating patterns, and we make mistakes and bad decisions and so forth. But karma is always there. Look at karma in, just kind of shift it a little bit. Look at karma as an opportunity to grow, to erase, to transform, and to heal. We are spirit having a human experience, a soul journey. As healers on the healer's journey, we must integrate our humanity with our divinity. So often people feel separated from their divinity. They feel separated from their spirituality. There is no separation unless you put it there. We are divine. We are spirit having a human experience. In your human experience, are you having karma troubles? Then go to Karma Basics and say, oh, this is a pattern. Here's an opportunity to become aware and make conscious choices that will shift the karma. And it is possible. You can do this with affirmations. You can do this with changing your patterns, your beliefs, your food, you're using essential oils, doing Reiki, you're doing all these wonderful things. And you know what? As I'm saying it, I'm thinking, oh gosh, some people are going to say, no, that's too hard. I'm just going to do what I'm doing. Guess what? That's karma. That's the karma voice talking. If you say it's too hard, guess what? It's too hard. That's part of your karma. So recognize if you are saying, oh, I live within my means, or that's too much money, or I can't do that because my back hurts, or whatever it happens to be, whether it's weight or relationships or money or sleep or health or pain or whatever it is, you've chosen it. You've got a signature for it. You've got a seed for it. Consciously become aware and begin to allow the shift to happen. Who are we? Why are we here? Our purpose is our experience. We are building a higher consciousness. So when you say to somebody, who are you, or what do you do? What do you do kind of limits who they are, right? They're here having a human experience just like you. Maybe you would like to ask what their experiences are, or take a look at what your experiences are, because your purpose is your experience. Many, many years ago, oh gosh, how many years ago? Close to 20 years ago now, I attended a seminar where I actually had to write down, I don't know what it was, a mission statement, or they called it something. I had to write something down. I had to figure out what I wanted. That was hard to do, to figure out what you want. If you're given a blank piece of paper and somebody says, write down what you want, I got serious about it. And I wrote, I'll share this with you now, 20 years ago, I wrote, to experience and share the goodness of life. That was it. And I cried when I wrote that because I resonated so deeply in my soul with that statement, to experience and share the goodness of life. Little did I know it would look like this. That I'd be doing webinars on a Monday night, experiencing and sharing the goodness of life. I'm so happy you're here. We get to say, I see you. I see your wholeness, your health, your light. We get to say, I see that we are bound by a higher vibration and a sense of purpose. What if we looked at everybody that way? What if we looked at the person across from us standing in line? What if we, in our day-to-day, through work and family, got to say, I see you. I see your wholeness, your health, and your light. I see that we are bound by a higher vibration and a sense of purpose. That right there could erase all kinds of karma and heal all kinds of karma. So healing karma involves finding the still points, the pause in your breath, the moments when it's quiet. If I sound a tuning fork, it is the point at which the tuning fork pauses in its vibration. I can't hear it anymore. It is beyond my capacity to hear the vibration, but it's vibrating. I just don't hear it. It exists. It's a still point. To heal karma, feed your soul, find your joy, and become aware of opportunities that are disguised as pain. I use the word pain to cover all aspects of things that are out of alignment with wholeness. Again, physical, emotional, spiritual pain, it all exists. Become aware of opportunities that are disguised as pain. What do people do when they feel pain? We're kind of trained now, right? If we feel pain, we take some medicine to cover it up. Or we try to give somebody a hug to stop them from crying and shaking. No, let them process that. Give them an opportunity to soothe, to feel better, to shake it off. Give yourself an opportunity to find another way to let the pain go. Because pain is a signal, right? Pain isn't something you treat. Pain is just an opportunity to heal something, some aspect of yourself. Raise your vibration. This is one of the easiest things we can do. We can do it with making better food choices. Go raw as much as possible. Not so much processed. Not so much sugar. Raise your vibration with experiences. I know one of our callers is spending time outdoors right now, and she took time to be on the webinar. Thank you. Change your vibration with your thoughts. Think positive. I know, it's a cliche, right? When you think positive. But you know what? It's possible. Read positive books. Turn off the television. Don't watch that stuff that makes you feel tense. It's designed to keep you in a low vibration, a low frequency. Put yourself in situations that raise your vibration. Get closer to nature. Go hug a tree. Go walk barefoot on the earth. Hey, lay on the earth. Walk in the ocean. Hear the waterfall. Feel the mist. Get outside. Listen to the birds. Pick up a feather. Do those things that connect you to wholeness, Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. And always, 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 always express gratitude for your blessings. Gratitude for your experiences, gratitude for the opportunities, even though they're disguised as pain, Gratitude for the opportunity to heal, to erase karma, to transform, and to transcend. Here are the tuning forks I've been working with. I just wanted to share it with you one more time. This is a chakra tune-up energy vitality technique. You can take a look on my website, secondnaturehealing.com/sound healing. And you can experience the energy vitality technique by itself or integrate it into a full session. And I am doing trainings now on using tuning forks. The phase 1 training that I'm doing will be at the end of August. You can check my calendar. I've got other trainings on the calendar as well for using body tuners. In other words, tuning forks that are weighted so the vibration comes back down the stem, and you place the stem on your body and you can feel that vibration. Pretty cool. And the DNA, RNA tuning forks are for another time, another webinar, and it has to do with karma. Erasing karma, changing the vibration, calling in the archangels. So amazing. I am just really humbled to be a part of this work and to be expressing my joy in this way. The Illumination Reiki class is going strong. We are having another class here in Portland and also in Sedona in October. I hope you can join us. Would love to see you regardless of whether you're coming to class or not, and to be a part of this movement that encompasses so much more than Reiki and so much more than shamanism, so much more than all of the things we've talked about so far. It is something you can learn about by going to illuminationreiki.com, and you can check the calendar there as well. So I ask you, as I always do, where will your path lead you? You get to be on a path of your choosing. You can choose the path of victim. You can choose the path of karma. You can choose the path of all of those things that we talked about. Or you can choose the path of transcending. You can choose the path of becoming lighter, both in weight and vibration and in color. You can choose the path of joy and experiencing joy. You can choose that. And in doing so, you are choosing to change your vibration and change the patterns and change karma. The best way to reach me is through my website, secondnaturehealing.com. You can also visit illuminationreiki.com or email me, Rosemary, at secondnaturehealing.com. If you're not on the Healer's Journey webinar, you can go to my website and register for the webinar. Whether you're on live or not, you can receive all of the webinars one at a time coming directly to your inbox. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you and would love to hear from you. Give me some feedback. Take care and have a wonderful evening.